The seaside town of Saldanha Bay, South Africa, is known for its beauty. Its tranquil beaches and charming harbour usually paint a picture of serenity. But beneath the surface, a darkness festered. The disappearance of 6-year-old Joshlin Smith sent shockwaves through the community. It was a parent's worst nightmare come true. Little Joshlin vanished from her home, leaving behind a void filled with fear and despair. Days turned into weeks. Weeks bled into months, and hope began to dwindle. The community rallied, organizing search parties and prayer vigils. They clung to the hope of finding Joshlin alive, of bringing her back to the safety of their tight-knit community. The police investigation intensified, but leads were scarce. The community held its breath, united in grief and desperation. What had happened to their little angel, Joshlin? As the investigation deepened, a horrifying truth began to unravel. The finger of suspicion pointed to an unthinkable perpetrator, Joshlin's own mother, Kelly Smith. The community watched in disbelief and horror as the details unfolded. Kelly, along with her boyfriend, Jacques Apollis, and a friend, Stefano Van Ryn, were implicated in Joshlin's disappearance. Allegations surfaced, painting a grim picture of greed and desperation. Whispers of human trafficking, of a mother willing to sell her own child for a paltry sum, sent chills down everyone's spine. The community, once united in grief, now grappled with a sickening sense of betrayal. How could one of their own commit such an atrocious act? The unthinkable had happened. The very person entrusted with Joshlin's safety, her own flesh and blood, had allegedly orchestrated her disappearance. The betrayal cut deep, leaving behind a community scarred and broken. The trial of Kelly Smith, Jacques Apollis, and Stefano Van Ryn sent shockwaves through South Africa and beyond. The courtroom became a stage for a mother's alleged treachery. The prosecution presented its case, relying heavily on the testimony of a key witness, Laurentia Lombard, a friend and neighbour of Kelly. Lombard delivered a chilling account, alleging that Kelly had confessed to selling Joshlin for her eyes and skin. The courtroom gasped. The brutality of the alleged motive, the sheer depravity of it, hung heavy in the air. The defense, however, painted a different picture. They argued that Lombard's testimony was unreliable, riddled with inconsistencies. They maintained the defendant's innocence, but the weight of the allegations seemed insurmountable. The trial concluded with a verdict that left the nation reeling guilty. Kelly Smith, Jacques Apollis, and Stefano Van Ryn were convicted of kidnapping and trafficking Joshlin. The judge, in his sentencing, spoke of the depravity of the crime, of the innocence and vulnerability of young Joshlin. Justice, it seemed, had been served, but the scars of Joshlin's disappearance run deep. The case serves as a stark reminder of the vulnerability of children, especially in marginalized communities. It highlights the dark underbelly of human trafficking, a global scourge that preys on the innocent and the desperate. The fight for justice for Joshlin and for all victims of child trafficking must continue. It demands a collective effort, a commitment to protecting the most vulnerable members of society. The memory of Joshlin Smith, a little girl stolen from her community, should serve as a rallying cry for change, for a world where every child is safe, protected, and loved.